The dust over elections in 5 states is now settling down. But in India, can politics ever settle down? And in fact, politics is only growing, whether it is the suspense over the chief minister's position in Assam or whether it is the situation of violence in Bengal. And tonight we have with us Himanta Biswa Sarma. He's a minister in the Assam government, a hopeful for the chief minister's berth in Assam. And after a handsome victory, clearly he seems to have earned his position. But we'll have to wait and watch what the High Command of the BJP decides. Thank you, Mr. Himanta Biswa Sarma, for joining me on Frankly Speaking tonight. I want to ask you, and first I want you to come with me to Bengal because you've been in the news tweeting out videos, tweeting out pictures, tweeting out information about people escaping from Bengal and coming into Assam, where in Dhubri they have been given shelter. I want to ask you, Mr. Himanta Biswa Sarma, what are the details of these displaced people? Are these people really from Bengal, or is this just another point of very, very tough political face-off between the BJP and the Trinamool Congress?
Navika, on 5th of May, 400 people, they claim that they are from the Tufanganj area of West Bengal. They have entered Dhubri district, traumatized people, and they said that they are facing huge political persecution in that area. On 6th May, the number went up to 600. So immediately we have informed our Bengal counterpart and we proceeded with giving them food and shelter. Obviously, SDPO Tufanganj, who is from West Bengal, they have sent some buses to take those people, but those people have said that we cannot go back because situation is extremely bad, extremely volatile. They have come with injury and they wanted to be in Assam. So we have decided to establish 2 camps, one in Agamoni and other in another place called Sagalia. So in both these places now 2 camps has been established to accommodate these 600 displaced people. Alongside that, we have another border with West Bengal, which is towards the Srirampur part of Assam. So in that area, again, one injured people, Dhiren Saha, he has entered into Assam with lot of injury, and on this front also, from Falimari and Rampur, under Jorai police station of West Bengal side, here this side also 51 people entered. So we are today having camps in 2 districts, Kokrajhar and Dhuburi. Yesterday one MLA, Mrs. Maloti Saha, Maloti Rava, she came and she inquired about the situation, but as of now they are still in Assam side and they are really traumatized, and they said that huge political persecution is going on the Bengal side.
I want to ask you, this is a very serious charge. Himanta Biswa Sarma, at whose level have you taken up this matter with the government of Bengal? Because the Trinamool Congress has come out and stated that the BJP is just doing a political stunt and there is absolutely no merit in the complaints and in all these statements that are being made by several BJP leaders. How do you respond to that?
First of all, I am not making any statement as BJP leader. I am making this statement as a minister of a government, and I am saying this because it is a factual situation. I am just elaborating you the factual situation that around 700 people, traumatized people with injury on their hands, on their heads, they have entered into Assam, and our Deputy Commissioner of Kokrajhar and Dhuburi has officially intimated their counterpart that look, this is the situation, these people are here with us, we are giving them food and shelter. Now, please come back and take them and give them assurance that we are going to provide security. So, here I am not making this statement as a BJP minister or a BJP Karyakarta, because once we receive some refugee from neighboring state, it is our duty to give them food and shelter. However, investigating into the matter, obviously it is not within the domain of Assam government. West Bengal government has to investigate the issues. I think they must send their officials or they must send some responsible people to Assam to inquire into the matter, talk to each and every people, give them assurance and take them back.
Himanta Biswa Sarma, you did say that an MLA had come across to meet these people. Is this MLA from the Trinamool Congress? Was she
Yes.
the official representative of the government of Bengal? Did she manage to convince or assure some of the people? What are the details? Because as of now, what Mamata Banerjee has said is that chief ministers of BJP's ruled states have been ordered to make such claims. She's even questioned the visit of V. Muralidharan, the union minister from the centre, and said that outsider ministers are coming to create a riot-like situation in Bengal. Respond to the charges made by the Chief Minister of West Bengal, Mr. Himanta Biswa Sarma.
Yeah, Nabika, I am pretty much sure that Honorable Chief Minister of West Bengal will never allege that Assam government is trying to create some situation in her territory. Again, I am saying that this is the factual situation. Mamata Banerjee or West Bengal government can deny it, but factually you can send your crew, any press can come and talk to them. We have not invited them to Assam. They come because they fear political persecution. Some of them has come with injury. So, yesterday Miss Maloti Rabha, she is from BJP, she came and she interacted with the people, and to be fair, I would like to add here that yes, West Bengal government has sent 20 buses to pick them up. But the buses has come only with the driver, not with any important people or any responsible officer to give them assurance of peace and safety when they goes back to their land. So, as a result, not a single person has gone back as on today. We would like to have advice of West Bengal government on this, what we should do, on what is the expectation of Bengal government from Assam government on this issue, because we don't want to, as a government, we don't want to create a political tussle between West Bengal government and Assam government. Sometime Assam also, some people goes to Bengal when they fear something on Assam side, and from Bengal also people comes to Assam on certain situation. So, this is the factual situation. This is what I am saying. This is based on fact. This is based on the statement given by the these 700. I'd like to mention them as a refugee. I don't know whether they will categorize as a refugee or not. But those 700 refugees, 700 innocent people.
Himanta Biswa Sarma, why have you not made this as part of the issue taken up with the central government, with the Ministry of Home Affairs? Because now this is a matter between two states. There is a central team that has been deputed to meet with the governor of West Bengal. But nowhere in these complaints has anything been mentioned about the people who have left Bengal and gone into Assam. Is there a deliberate reason for keeping this out of the purview of the central team's investigation? Are you only interested in the politics of this case, or are you interested in the well-being of these people who are part of the exodus, the 700 people exodus from Bengal to Assam?
No, Nabika, we have already informed central government about this. We have informed West Bengal government on this, and Assam government has no interest in keeping people on our side when we are facing COVID situation and in a camp mode, because you know that from there, from the camp itself, COVID can flare up. So, we have no interest in keeping people of Bengal in a camp mode as of now, particularly when we are facing COVID situation. But the facts remain that these are innocent people, these are traumatized people, they fear political persecution, they have come with injury. So, what will be the responsibility of Assam government? Should we push them back? Should we not give them food and shelter? We have done what is the as per what you can expect from a government. We have given them food and shelter, we have given them cloth, and we have duly notified both to the Bengal government and the government of India that yes, these people we are keeping with us, and just you come and you take them. But only thing, you send a senior people so that these people feel reassured that yes, when we will go back, we will not face the same kind of situation.
Well, Himanta Biswa Sarma, Mamata Banerjee has pointed out to several videos that have been put out by several BJP leaders, and she's claimed these videos are fake. She's talked about a journalist. The journalist belongs to a leading group of newspapers and magazines and television channels, and that person has been shown as somebody who's from the BJP and has been treated badly, or there has been violence in that area. Somebody else has tweeted another video which they say is a 2018 video. There are questions coming out from the Trinamool Congress about the veracity of the videos also that have been put out by several BJP leaders. Very straightforward question is the BJP a sore loser? That's what Mamata Banerjee has said, that you've lost. You put all your batteries into this fight in West Bengal. You've ended up with 77. Trinamool Congress is at a 213, and therefore this entire issue of violence and rumors of a possible president's rule have been made to circulate, and she says that this is only because you're a sore loser and you have a political motive in destabilizing the new government of Bengal.
Navika, what I want to say that whatever TMC has said, whatever they are doing this, it is only going to say that going to prove they want to justify the violence. Now, what is the neutral mechanism she is suggesting? Is TMC is inviting you to visit Bengal and see yourself whether violence is going on or not? Whether TMC has invited Editor Guilds of India to visit Bengal and see whether violence is going on or not? Whether TMC is requesting National Human Rights Commission to visit Bengal to see whether violence is going on or not? So now, once today the perception has been created that BJP has been lost. BJP was never in the government in Bengal. BJP has gained in strength upon strength. From 3 to BJP has gone up to 78. BJP has disclosed, BJP has defeated a current chief minister on her seat. Today, if Mamata Banerjee is chief minister, because of a constitutional provision that a non-elected MLA can become chief minister. Today, we own in Assam by a margin of lakhs vote, margin of 50-60,000 vote. So, where is the locus standi? Where is the moral strength on the part of Mamata Banerjee? Today, even sit in the chair of that August office. She has just lost an election. So, my whole point is that if Mamata feels that everybody is saying lie, everybody is making false propaganda about Bengal, then why not you invite National Human Rights Commission to visit? Why not you invite a reputed national channel with their editor to visit Bengal and actually prove that BJP is doing a false propaganda? Why? I mean, today, when she said that central government minister are coming into Bengal and creating trouble, doesn't it give a sense that as if Bengal is not part of India, so central government minister will go where? So today, Mamata Banerjee is saying that outsider coming and flaring in Bengal. Who is outsider? Am I not an Indian citizen? So, if those kind of statements emanate from a high office of chief minister or from a party like TMC, that India will become balkanized, India will be fragmented. Narendra Modi cannot be an outsider, Amit Shah cannot be an outsider, I cannot be outsider to Bengal. So, I think until and unless law and order required, you have to allow people to come into Bengal. Yes, for some reason, if you feel that on law and order point of view, visit of some people is not required, you may say that please do not come. That is a law and order point of view. But how Himanta Biswa Sarma can be outsider in Bengal? How some BJP minister can be outsider in Bengal? I think Mamata Banerjee must introspect that why she lost her own seat.
Well, she hasn't lost her own seat by a very big margin, Himanta Biswa Sarma, and she's won 213 seats in the state on her face, on her performance, on her name. So
doesn't matter.
So to
Doesn't
just pick
matter.
up one seat and talk about the fact that she has
TMC.
She is TMC, Mamata Banerjee is TMC and TMC is Mamata Banerjee. It is on her name that they won the other 213 seats. How can you take that away from her?
In politics, morality, decency is always the primary thing. So, if you lost in your own seat, you have no right morally to sit in the chair of the chief minister. There are so many humble workers there that in the party itself. We have seen people like Derek O'Brien, we have seen people, so many intelligent people every day in the TV. So, it is the victory of TMC. So, let somebody sit. Till Mamata got again people mandate, she should not have sit in the chief minister's chair. At least in BJP or any other political party, that is not possible. If you say that TMC is Mamata, Mamata is TMC, then it is like Indira is India, India is Indira. I don't think that in 21st century people, even people from Bengal will appreciate that.
Well, Himanta Biswa Sarma, let's look at it from another point of view. Look at it from the point of view of a woman who left the Congress party, created a party of her own, challenged the left parties which had a 34-year-old rule in West Bengal, and has won not one, but not two, but three elections. And the third election was a very, very rhetorical election. You can call it a vitriolic election, but she has won. And she has been claiming all along that the election commission was with the BJP, yet she has won the election. Her party has won the election. So why not both sides exercise restraint and grace in the situation? That's the point.
First of all, Prime Minister has already congratulated her. I think if Mamata Banerjee feels that she has won a great election, she has grown up, now she has established her leadership, then she must act as a leader. It is her responsibility now to reach out to the BJP. I think she must invite people from BJP for a cup of tea. She must discuss with BJP that what is your problem, I am here to resolve it. Now in a COVID situation, people do not want to discuss about the violence in Bengal. I think all this can be closed if today Mamata Banerjee invite the opposition MLAs for a cup of tea, discuss the situation and create an atmosphere of peace and stability. If Mamata feels that she has won a great election, then great responsibility has also been casted on her. You will not win an election. Every win comes with a huge responsibility. So nobody is denying that Mamata has won for the third time. Mamata has defeated CPM. So every successful political leader has those kind of history. So nobody is denying Mamata from her share, Mamata Banerjee from her share of success. Nobody is denying. Nobody is saying that look by manipulation she has won. We said that yes, she has won. We also we also did a big thing by going from 3 to 78. Our people has done a great job by defeating the same great leader. You have said so much good thing about Mamata Banerjee, greatness of her. Then you can also talk about the greatness of Shubhendu Adhikari, how he has defeated the greatest leader of Bengal, what you have said just now. So I think there is a greatness on both sides.
Well, absolutely.
Now this
nobody,
is the time
nobody can
because
take
she is
away
going to
Shubhendu
rule
Adhikari's
Bengal
victory. Nobody is denying that fact. But when you are looking for
Yes.
magnanimity from Mamata Banerjee, let me
that
put
is why.
a question to you. That when she was taking her oath
Yes.
as the chief minister for a third term, there was a simultaneous oath that was being taken by the BJP president to fight against the violence. You know, the whole outlook doesn't look very camaraderie like or political grace like. You know, the entire visual reference of
Nabika.
this doesn't talk about the BJP being a party which wants to work together for the people. That's the point. That's the point I'm trying to make, Himanta Biswa Sarma. Has grace
Nabika,
in politics become history now?
No, Nabika, Mr. JP Nadda was in Bengal. Mamata could have called him. जब नड्डा जी आप यहाँ हैं थोड़ा मेरा swearing में भी आप आ जाइए. So magnanimity will have to come from the host. Guests cannot show the magnanimity. Mr. JP Nadda, being our national president, he has gone to Bengal to show the solidarity with the people who are suffering. More than 10 people has succumbed to death. So at that point of time, do you feel or do you expect that Mr. JP Nadda will go to Mamata Banerjee and offer her sweets? Obviously, that is the time Mr. JP Nadda, as a national president of BJP, he has to stand by his worker. He has to stand by his Karyakarta. So it is the magnanimity always lies with the victor. So Mamata has won. She has all the information that Mr. JP Nadda is in Bengal. Already there is an incident that JP Nadda's car, his vehicle was damaged earlier. She did not call JP Nadda that Nadda ji kaise hua? Mera dukh hai. I'll inquire. Did anybody has been arrested because the JP Nadda's car has been vandalized? Today Mamata Banerjee has given the justification that 3 days election commission was under the law and order situation of Bengal. Today can I say that COVID situation is going on in Assam and because a new government has not been elected, this is the responsibility of election commission. Can I say that? Is not she was the caretaker chief minister on those 3 days? Immediately after the vote, she tried to put the blame on election commission as if it was the election commission duty to check the law and order, to arrest those TMC people who were killing, or there was an allegation of atrocity against BJP. So Mamata Banerjee should have been put it down that no, we have won. People has given us the responsibility. Now we have to rule. One complaint should not come. Can you now say that even dead body has also been manufactured by BJP? Those 10 people who has laid down their life, do you want to allege that we have manufactured that story also? Our names are not published. We have not seen family members they are crying like anything. So it is, I will urge upon the national media, particularly the people of India, that if you really want to see and peace, stability everywhere in the country, the victor has to behave with a lot of magnanimity. Today, if I would have been in a position of Mamata Banerjee, I would have drove down to Naddaji's hotel and I would have asked Naddaji, kya ho raha hai, bataiye, I'll go with you. We don't want blood in Rabindranath Tagore's land. So I think you cannot justify victory on the part of Mamata Banerjee will not justify this kind of atrocity. History is, we have not seen future. One victory doesn't mean that she will be there for every time.
Well, nobody is justifying violence. Whoever may have died, there is no justification of violence. There is no justification for loss of life. Whether the loss of life is on this side of the political spectrum or that side of the political spectrum, a life lost is a shame. It's a shame not just for the state, not just for the political parties, but it is a shame for India. And I completely agree. But I want to ask you that the problem might be within. That is what some people have said, that there is infighting within the BJP. Tathagata Roy, a senior leader of the BJP, a former governor of Bengal, has said that, BJP took too many of the Trinamool Congress people inside and spoiled their own chances. As far as the CSDS survey is concerned, we've seen in several areas the OBC's vote share for the BJP has gone down from the level it was in the 2019 elections. The Rajbanshi's vote share has gone down. Adivasis have voted less than they did in 2019. Even Dalits have voted less than they have voted in 2019. Women have voted less for the BJP than for Mamta. So I want to ask you, is the problem within the BJP ranks? And that's the bogey that has also been raised by many in the Trinamool Congress.
Navika, first of all, I'd like to mention one thing. In 2019, Prime Ministerial candidate was Mr. Narendra Modi. I have seen that whenever Mr. Modi contests, many people who may not support BJP or who may not vote for BJP in assembly election, they tend to vote for Prime Minister. And 2019 election was basically it was an election of Prime Minister Mr. Modi, and obviously many people has voted for Prime Minister in that election. Now comparison has to be drawn between the apple and apple. You have to draw comparison between the 2016 assembly election and 2021 assembly election. And you will find that BJP has established themselves or itself as a main opposition party. BJP has defeated an incumbent chief minister. I think with great respect to the leaders like Tathagata Rai, I will urge our BJP people to congratulate our BJP Karyakarta for the great victory they have achieved in Bengal in a state where 30% people belongs to a particular community and whereas BJP's policy is against appeasement, winning election is not very easy. In Assam, we know that similar kind of population pattern, how much it is tough to win election. Even if you do everything, you may not ultimately get votes. So people on ground must realize that Bengal is a state with 30% of a population who belongs to a particular community. So it was never an easy election, but under the difficult situation, I particularly believe that BJP has done a great job. They have not only become the my party has not only become the principal opposition party. They have able to receive an extraordinary mark, extraordinary distinction by defeating an incumbent chief minister. I think these are the main takeaway from the election. We have to work from this mathematics, we have to work with our gain, and I am sure that 2026 there will be another battle and we will own. As far as comparison is concerned, I am sure even a die-hard TMC supporter will also vote for Prime Minister Modi in 2024. So I'd like to urge that one should compare between assembly and assembly election, parliament and parliamentary election.
Himanta, let's now look at Assam. In Assam, your own estimate was that you would win about 84 seats for the BJP. Well, you won about 60, and that's not really, past the halfway mark. So the BJP without alliance partners cannot form a government in Assam, just like last time. I want to ask you, did you overestimate? You've won, your alliance is won, and we're waiting for the chief ministerial announcement. But I just want to ask you the numbers. And I want to ask you, why were the Assam numbers lower than what you expected? You polarized, you did not take on Congress as much as you took on the AIUDF, but the AIUDF has performed better than the last time around. They've got 3 more seats. Has somewhere the BJP strategy misfired?
Navika, first of all, if you look at the number of BJP, our seat has increased by 1 seat. Last time we owned 59, this time we own 60. So BJP as a party, our performance remained the same like 2016. And during the election, I have given actually through WhatsApp to my leader that we are going to own 76 seats as a NDA, and we own 75 seats. So my estimate was realistic. I know that going by the circumstances, because every 5 years we are because of the same population arithmetic, we are losing seats in Barak Valley and Lower Assam simply because of the changes in political pattern. My expectation was 76 for NDA, we own 75, and so far as BJP is concerned, our number of seat has been increased by 1, our seat has not come down.
Himanta Biswa Sarma, is the strain in the relationship between Sarbananda Sonowal and Himanta Biswa Sarma as 2 very, very senior leaders of the BJP showing on the performance of the BJP?
No, first of all, BJP believe in an ideology. We work together. Till today we are working together, and we are going to work together. When we fought election in Assam, we fought for an ideology, and this is we fought for the people of Assam. We fought for the identity of Assamese people. Personal difference, personal ambition doesn't come when we are in election, because we fought for the identity of Assamese people. So Assam is a different land. As I told you in earlier interview also, it is like Israelis who fought every day for their nation. In Assam, we fought every election for our identity, because we know if we are going to lose, then our identity will be finished. We will be, our satras, our monastery will be captured again. So we fought Assam election with lot of patriotic flavor, and personal difference doesn't come anyway when we fought election in Assam.
You emphasize on the word personal differences do not come in the way when you fight elections. But right after elections, right after the victory, it's been reported that you had a separate meeting with your MLAs, he had a separate meeting with the MLAs, and that just shows that there are differences that stay, because otherwise you would have both met all the people together.
Navika, Navika. No, Navika, same MLA has come to my residence. They have offered me flowers and all. And after half an hour, same MLAs has gone to the residence of Chief Minister. These are basically the same MLA. If you look the visuals, same MLAs are moving in both the houses, because till government is formed, every elected MLA wants to meet their leaders, meet their friends. So this kind of bonhomie is going on, but these are the same people. There are no 2 sets of people. AGP President morning he came to my home, evening he went to Chief Minister place, next day morning he went to our party president place. These are the same people moving in various residences. There are no 2 sets of people.
But Chief Minister तो एक ही बनेगा हिमंतो दादा, 2 तो बनेंगे नहीं. एक चीफ मिनिस्टर बनेगा और एक उसका लेफ्टिनेंट बनेगा. तो दिस टाइम चीफ मिनिस्टर कौन और लेफ्टिनेंट कौन?
नाविका जी देखिए, ये क्वेश्चन मेरा लीडर्स लोग आंसर करेगा और वी हैव ग्रेट फेथ ऑन प्राइम मिनिस्टर मोदी एंड होम मिनिस्टर अमित शाह. So whatever Prime Minister, Home Minister Amit Shah, our party President JP Nadda or Central Parliamentary Board, whatever they will decide, it will be all right for us. We have to keep Assamese identity intact. We have to convert Assam as a growth engine for entire country, and absolutely there is no difference in our party. We are together. People has voted for Prime Minister Modi. People have voted for the politics of identity. People have voted for politics of development. We are very happy that Prime Minister Modi started taking keen interest on the development of Northeast, and I want to see that this big development initiative which are taken by central government keeps going for another 10 years.
Himanta Biswa Sarma, you quit the Congress. You quit the Congress because there was a senior leader like Tarun Gogoi who would not allow you to function independently. The old guard was not giving way to the new guard, and your meeting with Rahul Gandhi at that time, and more than Rahul Gandhi, with Piddi at that time, is part of folklore in political corridors of power. So I want to ask you, Himantada, in BJP, will you now realize your dream, your ambition for being the Chief Minister of Assam, something that you worked for many, many years?
No, Nabika, I think we have worked for some aim, some goal. Being Chief Minister cannot be an end in itself. We work, we are in politics for achieving certain higher goal, some ambition for my state. I quit Congress because when I see that I cannot work with an arrogant leader. I quit Congress when I have seen that Congress is going closer and closer to UDF. I quit Congress when I realized that from here onwards, I cannot contribute to my state being in that party. So that when I'll write my autobiography at some point of time, you will know many things about the background, why I have to resign at that point of time. It was not an easy thing. It was also painful for me to quit a party where I spent my entire youth, 22 years. But when you see an arrogant leader who doesn't know the pulse of the people, who goes by the old arithmetic of caste, various different equation, you cannot walk in that situation. But now I do not want to repeat the old story because we have those are past story. Whatever events I have to take democratically, we have taken in 2016. This election, even I have not mentioned the name of Rahul Gandhi in any one of my speech because I realized that things was whatever happened in the past, you will not go on recollecting in every and each moment. But yes, it will be very simplistic to say that I have quit Congress only to become Chief Minister. That was not the reason.
Today, you're sitting with a mask, an N95 mask around your neck. But in April, it was the same Mr. Himanta Biswa Sarma who said there's no need for masks in a state where there is no more coronavirus.
Nabika, sometimes people do not try to understand what we say. I'll say the majority of people used not to wear masks because that time there was no COVID in Assam.
Himanta Biswa Sarma, you're also in your previous avatar the Health Minister of Assam. And I see that today you're sitting with a mask, an N95 mask around your neck. But in April, it was the same Mr. Himanta Biswa Sarma who said there's no need for masks in a state where there is no more coronavirus. If we rewind the clock and take it back to April, would you still have made that statement? Do you think that was an irresponsible statement?
Nabika, sometimes people do not try to understand what we say. That was the time when Congress party has unleashed their propaganda that we are going to impose the lockdown immediately after the election, and during the lockdown we are going to manipulate the EVMs and we are going to turn around the election result in our favor. So in that context, I have said that why we have to impose lockdown. Today we don't have COVID cases literally. On the day when I gave that interview, that day Assam registered 20 or 25 COVID cases. So in the month of April or in the month of March or in the month of February or in the month of January, nobody used to wear masks in Assam. Nobody means, I'll say the majority of people used not to wear masks because that time there was no COVID in Assam. That was the factual situation. So today America has said that there is no required to wear masks. Suddenly after 4 months a new variant of COVID strike back America supposedly. Then will not American president will say no, I withdraw our earlier instruction, now everybody has to wear masks. So we are dealing a developing situation. That was a political answer to a political question. I think I don't know why people has a habit of literally twisting things and just discount our contribution to the management of the COVID. Nabika, I wear PP kit, I entered into the ICU every day literally. I go to cremation ground to personally see that every last rites conducted nicely. We ensure like from remdesivir, plasma, oxygen, get surplus in Assam. So those who troll me, I want to ask them one single question. Come to Assam, see our contribution, see what we did in COVID pandemic, then troll me. Today also I came from inside the ICU wearing PP kit because I feel that we have to be with the health worker at this point of time. State like Assam has initiated free vaccination even for 18 to 44 years. I don't know why people goes after sentence and discount your whole life contribution and keep on pestering only on one sentence which was uttered because of your political compulsion.
Well, Himanta Biswa Sarma, you have tweeted today about the statement or the tweet made by Mr. Hemant Soren of Chief Minister of Jharkhand. I want to ask you, the opposition has blamed the centre and said they haven't done enough, no warning, no preparation. And today this tweet coming in from Hemant Soren, which has created a political controversy. People say that even the Prime Minister Narendra Modi, when he was the Chief Minister, said many things about Dr. Manmohan Singh, the then Prime Minister. So it's all right if Hemant Soren says some factual things, he hasn't abused anyone. Do you agree with that statement?
Nabika, today India is facing an extraordinary situation. We need blessings of Prime Minister, we need cooperation of Prime Minister, and collectively we have to own this war. So if it would have been Hemant Soren tweeted on some political context, it is fine. But Prime Minister Modi has called him to know about the COVID situation in Jharkhand out of empathy, out of his responsibility, out of his duty. If you do this kind of tweet, then will you get another phone call? Will PM would like to call you again? So you have to think about people of Jharkhand at this time. You have to work in a manner that so that you get more remdesivir, you get more oxygen, you get more help from the central government. This is the time where you have to work with the Prime Minister, whoever he may be. So if you tweet it with this kind of way that Man ki baat bola, fir kuch bhi nahi kiya, Is it not a fact that every day we are getting help from the central government? Is it not a fact that Prime Minister is working 18 to 19 hours every day for the people of India? So, how can you do this? We appreciate even you work for your people. We also appreciate that yes, Hemant Soren himself might be doing whole lot of things for the people of Jharkhand at this moment. This is not the time when COVID, we are talking about COVID, we are talking about death, we are talking about oxygen. This is not the time that you go on tweeting in a manner which actually jeopardizes center-state relation, COVID situation, COVID pandemic. Is it the time to do all these things?
But is the
even if he is a prime minister
the
from
argument from the
party.
other side is that is the center trying to do ihsan? Are you trying to do this, as some sort of a favor that you're doing to the states? In the federal structure that we have, the center and the states both have their own duties, their own roles, and therefore, not one side can only be blamed
Nabika,
for the sour relationship that exists. How do you respond to that criticism?
Nabika, first of all, health is a state subject. If you talk about law, if you take about constitutional responsibility, today I feel sad that even our chief minister from small northeastern state are also not alleging central government. We know we have a very, very less resources. Today, when Chief Minister of Maharashtra says that we have not get help from the central government, I would like to put a question, what kind of help you want? Do you want oxygen from central government? Today, Maharashtra should have been in a position to give oxygen to Assam and Meghalaya. You want remdesivir injection from central government? You should have been in a position to give it to us. So, today, you can blame central government. But also, you will be answerable to people of your own state. Why you have not constructed ICU during this period? Why you have not made it mandatory for your nursing home to have its own oxygen unit? So, why you have not stocked enough remdesivir when companies are going after government that please procure our remdesivir, we are in surplus, we want to sell. So, Nabika, there is a two side of the story, but this is not the time of fault finding. This is the time that we should rally around, we need to rally around Prime Minister, we need his guidance, we need his experience, we need his help, we need his cooperation, and it is not the time. Look, Narendra Modi, this is your responsibility, you have to do it. If you say that, no. It is not, health is a responsibility of a state government. But yes, this is the not time to find out in constitutional book, in the constitution, whose subjects belongs to whom. This is the time to work as a Team India. So, this kind of tweet affect the Team India spirit. I'd like to say one thing, that today if we as a country, we do not fight COVID pandemic, we will not be able to defeat it. So, this is the time we should close our rank, we should rally around Prime Minister, we should seek his advice, we seek his guidance, we should seek his financial support, we should seek his technical support, and we should fight COVID pandemic. And later on when election will come, we can start giving political speech. Nobody is going to say anything at that point of time. So, you have failed to store remdesivir.
Well,
you have failed to generate your own oxygen. And now you will shift all the blame to Narendra Modi.
Well, I think as a country, we need to just end the bitterness, end the bickering, at least till the end of the crisis really created for the country by this COVID-19 infection. In fact, the numbers, the kind of loss of life, the kind of situation, overload on the health infrastructure, the last thing we need is political posturing. And that's why, as people of India, as citizens of India, we do hope politicians will take a cue from what people really need and want at this time rather than political point scoring. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Himanta Biswa Sarma. Thank you for joining me on Frankly Speaking, and we'll be waiting very, very closely, looking and following the story of who's going to be Chief Minister of Assam.